Well, let me ask you this one question. Have you guys ever thought that some part of your life you have some bad lucks? Sometimes you feel like things just not working out for you, right?
Yeah.
And some people, well, most of you are pretty successful here, but do you know anybody who didn't make it and they said it's all because of our past, it's all because of my fate, it's my destiny? You hear people say that, right? You know the word destiny and fate? Those words just seem so uncontrollable. It's so easy for us to shift the control of our life to that so that we can blame it on the destiny that I got. Well, I do believe there's a higher power in this world. I do believe that we do have some kind of destiny, right? But I also believe that we have some kind of control over our destiny, how to turn the direction of our destiny. So let me tell you a little bit about my story. So I told you guys earlier that I was born and grew up in Hong Kong. When I was 6 years old, I remember on December 16, 1984, my parents bought their first home. And I was proud. I was a proud 6-year-old girl at the time. I had a beautiful childhood. I had great memories. 8 years later, my parents lost their source of income. Their money got taken away by their friends, who eventually did something illegal and went to jail. And so we lost our home too. With this financial struggle, it split my family apart into different countries. My parents had to take turns to go find jobs back in Indonesia, where they grew up, so that we can survive. So by the time I was 13, I pretty much had to take care of myself. I had to cook for myself, I had to cook for the family. At 16 years old, both of my parents decided they both have to go to Indonesia to work. So I was left alone in Hong Kong. At 17, I was thinking to myself, now by this time, all my friends are gone because Hong Kong, we were just about 2 years before the 1997 handover back to China. So everybody was sending their kids away. My parents didn't have money, they didn't send me away. So I was left alone with no family and no friends. And I said, you know what? I need to take control of my life now. I cannot just stay here. So I went to school the next day, I quit school, and I told my parents, I'm coming over to Indonesia to meet up with you guys. And they were just like, okay. I went there to Indonesia. I helped out with their restaurant business, struggling restaurant business, trying to make about $30 in revenue per day. But it was tough, we had to work 24/7. 10 months down, and I was thinking to myself, what am I doing here? Is this gonna be my destiny? Is this gonna be my life now? I'm not even going to school at this point. So again, I told my parents, you know what? All of my friends are in another country going to school right now. I also want that American dreams that everybody's talking about. I'm going to America for school. They kind of looked at me like, in case you didn't realize, we don't really have money. We can't send you to America for school. What are you gonna do? I was like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So just like that, I packed my bags, I went back to Hong Kong. I spent 2 months, prepared everything that I could, and applied for a student visa. I went to US Embassy. I wasn't the first one in line, but I was the first one who got approved with a student visa because I was so well prepared. And you can imagine how excited I was at that point. I ran out of that embassy. I ran to the closest payphone. I only had a few change, and I called my parents in Indonesia, and they were shocked. They were just like, well, we're really proud of you, but we've never even been to the United States before. We don't even have any advice for you. But if you somehow cannot make it when you're there, it's okay. You can come back and we will still be very proud of you. I told them, just give me 10 years. 10 years, I'll make it, and I will take you guys out of this financial struggle. So 2 weeks later, I again packed my bags, and I came here, and I cried all the way until now. And somehow I graduated from UCLA, and I worked up to 3 jobs at a time. And when I graduated, I actually became an analyst at a pension consulting firm. And I was so sure that that was my ticket to financial freedom at the time. I was the analyst looking at these large corporations' pension fund portfolios. And in 2001, 2002, the internet bust and the market crashed. Then I look at their portfolio, it dropped 50 to 75% in value. I'm thinking to myself, what if I retire that year and then I lost all that money? What if this is my parents' retirement fund? What are they gonna do? So it became like their retirement is so not in their control. So I decided that I need to look for other kind of investments so that I can be more control of my retirement. I can be more control of my future. So that's when I went into this research mode and looked at different investments, and I found that real estate investment is really the way to go. I can do my analysis. I was an analyst anyways. I can predict my return on investment. I can use different strategies and leverage my investment. And on top of that, there's tax benefits, right? So I went into real estate career because of that. But then back home, everybody was telling me that, you know, you're not gonna make it in America. You know, the United States is really known for their racism and discrimination. You're an immigrant, you're a minority, you're a woman. Most of the people we know, they come back. They come back to Asia. And I said, racism? You think racism only exists in America? In 1998, 2 years after I came to this country, I went back. I worked 7 days a week, saved enough money, and I went back to Indonesia to visit my parents. They lived in this small town. So my mother and I one day decided to go to Jakarta to just visit and do a little bit of a business trip buying stuff for the restaurant. While we were there, if you guys remember, in 1998, that was one of the biggest Asian financial crises at the time. And I don't know if you guys heard about this riots that happened in Indonesia. Over 1,000 people were killed. We were stuck in the middle of that riot. And you know what they were targeting, who they were targeting? Chinese. Chinese people like me. They look at you, if you have smaller eyes, you look Chinese, they beat you up. If you're a woman, that's even worse. They gang rape you first. Then they burn your bodies in front of their fathers, their sons, and their brothers. That was a horrific experience for us. We hid in a house for 3 days. My father being so far away, calling everybody he could find to help us out. And finally, third day, somebody came and snuck us out, went through villages, and we got to the airport. By the time we boarded the airplane, so only 17 people made it. That was racism. That was discrimination, targeting Chinese people. Most people didn't know about this. And then if you talk about female, being a female, well, when I became a real estate broker, I didn't know that over 67% of the licensees are females, but less than 30% of them are broker owner. Worse the point is you're in commercial real estate, over 70% of the commercial real estate agents, they are Caucasian male, and the median age is 60 years old. So when I became a broker owner, everybody looked at me weird. They didn't believe me. And then when I started doing commercial real estate, that was even worse. I got comments like, oh, how did you get this listing? Is it because of your look? Or they would tell me, you need to stop using that picture, that headshot, that looks way too glamorous for commercial real estate. I was like, okay, that really infuriated me. I'm like, you know what? I better prove my worth here. So I went ahead and got my designation. It's called Certified Commercial Investment Member. Only 6% of the commercial real estate agents have this designation. It's not an easy designation to get. It took me 4 years and threw two out of the 3 pregnancies. And when I got this designation, I also decided that I'm gonna attend those meetings I'm gonna go to their monthly meetings. I'll be sitting among all the men. And even though they weren't talking to me, and they were looking at me like, you're a residential agent, and you are too young for commercial. But I went every single month, and then they realized that, wow, she just listed this 100-unit apartment building. Oh wow, she helped a client starting from investing in condos, and then helped this client building her portfolio and then own hundreds of units. She knows her stuff. Then I was invited to become part of the board of directors, and a couple of years later, they invited me to, or they had nominated me to be one of the executive leaders for that chapter. So next year, I'm going to be the president for this chapter. Well, it's a small reign, but it means so much to me. It means so much to me. I feel like if I am just a woman, if people didn't believe in me, I'll just prove myself. I'll take control of my destiny. I'll take control of my fate. Don't whine about people looking down you, they discriminate you. There are always going to be these people out there. There are always going to be these people who just don't understand, but then there are way more people who are open-minded and they're willing to accept you. You just got to prove yourself. So take control of your destiny. Don't let your gender, don't let your status, don't let, just because I'm an immigrant, I'm a minority, I'm a woman, I'm a mom, that I cannot do this. I can. Today, I married a US veteran who fought for us in Iraq 3 times. Very proud of my husband. We have 3 beautiful children. I am a broker owner of my company, real estate company, and I also achieved to become the top 1% agent in the Bay Area. I am a real estate investor, so now I have passive income coming to our way, so I don't have to worry about money anymore. And on top of that, last year, in 2018, it took longer than 10 years, but I brought my parents to this country and they became US residents, and now they're living with me. Early this year, in February, my father had a really major heart attack. And he had a triple bypass surgery. And it was right after the Forbes Insider Forum. When I went back, spent about a month and a half taking care of my father and my mother. I didn't think that this would happen. If I had just let fate or let destiny to control my life, where would I be? I probably would be still in Indonesia. I don't know doing what, but I took control of my destiny and I came here. So I urge everybody to stop whining about your past. Stop whining about your misfortune. Instead, I challenge you guys, just take control of your life. I took control of my life when I decided I want to come here, knowing how difficult life is going to be. And I think, I'm not promising you guys life is going to be beautiful. Life is going to be difficult. But when you take control and you can take action, your life will change. Thank you.